All right, this is Brother Ira coming back at you with another lesson. And I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rikakwadash, double honors to the Apostles' Great Millstone. Even though I'm not part of GMS, but I agree with their teachings. I follow the doctrine. And and we don't like to hit it off with they, Esau Edom said they found another planet on their satellite that's like they got life on it. And we're gonna watch the video.
K2-18b. No, it's not a character from Star Wars. It's a planet 2.5 times the size of Earth and 700 trillion miles away, and it could be home to living organisms.
Here's what we know right now, Pamela. The James Webb Space Telescope is so powerful that it actually can analyze the chemical composition of atmospheres from far, far away. And the atmosphere analyzed from K2-18b shows molecules that can only be produced by living organisms. In other words, it's a step potentially closer to directing life on another planet.
Fair use,
For more,
fair
we're
use.
joined now by astrophysicist and
for
NASA
this,
advisor Paul Sutter. Paul, this is
use.
potentially an extremely exciting finding. How compelling is the evidence of life on another planet?
Oh, this is definitely very exciting and very interesting. But I have a personal mantra when I encounter results like this, which is if it's interesting, it's probably wrong. And that helps me temper my enthusiasm and my geekiness, excitedness with a healthy dose of scientific skepticism, which we need to approach these kinds of results. Now, the evidence here is certainly the strongest evidence we've ever had for life on another planet. But in an absolute sense, the evidence isn't all that strong. It's a very weak signal here of these elements. And even if these elements are on the planet, it's not necessarily generated by life. We are at the very, very edge of what we can discover and detect with the James Webb. And it will take a lot more analysis, a lot more study, a lot more investigation to rule this in or rule this out, which is how science progresses.
We were looking for you to say, hey, this is proof that aliens exist, but clearly you're not going there.
I was going to ask you if we could actually call and speak to somebody 200 trillion miles away.
We can definitely make the call, but you're going to have to wait for that response.
All right.
So what does it mean? We talk about life on another planet. I mean, this could be a wide range, right? Array, I should say, of the type of life that could be there, correct?
I'm gonna give away this incredible $4,000. Wait, no, not this one. This incredible $4,000 piano.
Absolutely. Like, we're the only known living creatures in the universe. We don't know the true variety of life out there in the cosmos. We are hunting for life like our own because we know what it looks like. We know what it does to planets. We know how it alters the chemistry of an atmosphere. And so this planet K2-18b, it has water vapor. It has methane. And in the latest discovery, it has dimethyl sulfide, which is made by algae on the Earth. Is there some sort of alien life here? We don't know, but it's very intriguing. In this world, I should say this world is completely unlike the Earth. It's twice as wide. It's 8 times as massive. It orbits a small red star. It has a year that only lasts 33 days. If there is life here, it is truly alien in a very real sense.
Walk us through the science a bit. How does this telescope actually work? Because this planet is, trillions of miles away?
This is fascinating. This is exactly.
See, this is stuff that Esau trying to get to, but they'll never make it. That's for the elect, man. That's when Yahweh shall return and and raise us, get us back on power. We're gonna be traveling to those planets and stuff. Esau wish he can get there. He ain't gonna never make it to there, man. So he really is deceiving himself. That's only for the nation of Israel. And hope for elect, man. Only time Esau and these other nations gonna get to that planet unless we take them there to build up, to build up our civilization there in these planets. Y'all gonna be slaves. Y'all gonna be there to work, right? See, this is Esau. This is what Elon Musk and his SpaceX and all that trying to do, you know what I mean? But they're not going to get there. You think the Most High, the Lord, going to allow this demon to travel out in space to the other planet. He effed up this planet. You think he gonna allow him to mess up other planets and then messing up space and polluting space with with his garbage and with his science and his technology? Oh hell nah. This dude, this man is destructive force, man, wherever he go. Lord ain't gonna allow this man to go travel to no other planet. He'll allow you to see it, but you won't get there. Let's finish off.
What the James Webb was built to do. This is what we waited so long to be able to accomplish. We're not taking pictures of this planet. This thing is way too tiny for that. All we get is the light from its parent star, which appears as nothing more than a dot of light, even with our most advanced instruments. But what happens is that this planet in its orbit crosses in front of the face of that star. And so the light from the star filters through the planet's atmosphere on its way to us. And then any chemicals, any molecules in the atmosphere change the light from that star, and we can pick up that change and figure out what's in the atmosphere. The fact that we can even do this, that we can say, oh yeah, there are these elements on this planet 700 trillion miles away, is a testament to just how powerful James Webb is and the creativity and ingenuity of my fellow astronomers.
Yeah, I mean, really remarkable, right?
Amazing.
The people who built that and all that goes into it. Are you concerned about NASA's science budget and how that could impact further discoveries like this?
I'm scared. And when I'm not scared, I'm exhausted. And when I'm not exhausted, I'm scared of what's happening to science in our country and the future of science. And I empathize with people. I really do. I understand that if budgets are tight, if times are uncertain, things like the James Webb, things like looking for life outside the solar system, things like astronomy seem like unnecessary expenses. And yeah, this is extra stuff. Also,
All right, we're gonna get some scriptures. All right. The book of John, chapter 14, verse 2. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I'm going to read it again. The book of John, chapter 14, verse 2. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I got to prepare a place for you. See, now you seeing that new planet that they say they so-called discovered with their satellites. The Lord had prepared that place for the hopeful elect and his children, man. So those planets we're gonna be going to, because the Lord said he created. He said my Father has many mansions. That's one of his mansions in space, man. Right? And he said if it wasn't, he wouldn't have told us. So it wouldn't be no other planets out there if it wasn't so. You know what I'm saying? So Howard Shah said there's many mansions in my Father's house, man. And those are one of his mansions. But see, Esau Edom, he wants to get there. He think he like I said, he want to be God. He want to try. He want that knowledge of interstellar space travel. But he will never get that, man. He will never get that. That's why they want to make people artificial human cyborgs. Because if you make you a cyborg, make you a half man, half AI robot, that you'll be able to travel distance and space because you won't age. We won't need the styrofoam food because you'll have GMO food that you can just make. So that's what this is what all he trying to do. He want to do that because he want to travel to other planets, but he know in his human body he can't do it. He can't achieve that. Or at least they'll come like you'll see like on movies like Aliens and certain space movie, they got cryogenics. And they'll be hibernate, like they'll set the course for their ship to travel throughout space, and they being high, and they being what you call hyogenics. They be in sleep so they can preserve their body and their age, and they'll set the time on when they're gonna wake up. And then when they wake up, they could be somewhere in the middle of space and not age and look young and continue their travels. But see, that just movie, I mean, he almost got that technology. I'm pretty sure he do, but he's not gonna never get to use that, And the Lord said, the book of John, chapter 14, verse 3, if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. See? Because who knows, man, I speak as a man, once he destroyed Babylon the Great and all that, and he deliver us, he might, before he I heard one of the brothers from Saints of Jersey said this a while ago in one of their street teachings. Before he come back and we apprehend these elites, he might have us fly off, travel through space for a while, to show us, to give us a tour in space and see other planets and visit other planets before we come back to Earth and set the order down. He might do that to us. He might show us the universe. You know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna be immortal, and man, and it ain't gonna take us long. We're gonna have the technology of hyperspace and travel through space. You know what I'm saying? And still come back to this realm and do what we got to do and set the earth back in order. So he might do that. He might show us. You know what I'm saying? Might give us a tour throughout space and different planets and visit some of these new so-called Earths that's like Earths and see all the things and wondrous things that he created. We might be able to do that before we come back to this Earth and set things back in order. That would be dope if the Lord do that for us. And whether I go, ye know, and the way ye know. And Thomas said unto him, Lord, we know not whither thou goest, and how can we know the way? Right? He said, Yahweh Shai said unto him, I am the way and the truth. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. So the only way we're going to be able to achieve to go through space is we go through the Father, man. He's the way. We got to go through Yahweh Shai, man, to possess these things, these beautiful things that the Lord got waiting for us. Let's get some more precepts.
Behind the project, they use gene editing technology with the mission of bringing back previously extinct animals. Beth Shapiro and Ben Lamb of Colossal Laboratories joins us now on set. First question, did y'all watch Jurassic Park? Are we sure this is what we want to do? First person actually pulled that together. Talk to us about your process here. What steps, in layman's terms, did you go through to get to this point, and why the focus on dire wolves? It started by getting dire wolf DNA. So we went out into the field and collected fossils, remains of dire wolves that used to be alive, extract the DNA, and sequence and assemble dire wolf genomes, which we then compared to genome sequences, the DNA in all of our cells, of all the different canids that they might have been related to figure out what it is that makes them distinct. We then use the tools of gene editing to edit gray wolf cells to have 20 different edits in 14 genes to make them bigger, stronger, and have this characteristic white.
The book of John, chapter 10, verse 1. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. So the Lord said, if you don't come through him, and you try and go up some other way, you're a thief and a robber. See, Esau Edom, he trying to come up another way. He think he gonna try and come up a way with his science, his technology, to trying to get to achieve immortality and achieve interstellar space travel. You know what I'm saying? And then you got 2/3 of our people out here, they believe in Esau Edom. You know what I'm saying? They think because if Esau Edom achieve these things, they can do it. If they get the money, especially these so-called black Negro celebrities, they got, they figure they got the money. We're gonna be the first to travel through space. They don't know that's Esau got plans for them to do that, not for you niggas. You know what I'm saying? They trying to get away. They doing all this to trying to get away from you niggas. So First John, the book of John, chapter 10, verse 1. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. So if you try to come up some other way, in which 2/3 of our people try to come up in the way of Esau Edom, they are thieves and robbers. You're like, you got IUIC, you got these other camps. They trying to come up some other way, right? And they are thieves and robbers, man. And the Lord gonna deal with them. They come in the name of Jesus Christ, you know. They took that bag, man. They try to come up some other way, and the Lord gonna deal with them. They thieves and robbers, man. You know, they trying to make merchant of the people. You know what I mean? They robbing the people blind, teaching them false doctrines. You know, they try to come up some other way. So Lord bid them. The Lord certified them as robbers and thieves. You know, they're not gonna get the 2/3. They're gonna be in the kingdom. You know, they're gonna get the glory of traveling through space. But Esau, Edom, he's not. He ain't gonna never achieve that. You know, let's get some more scriptures.
Around the world, we're working on EHV in elephants, which is a deadly disease that kills about 20 elephants a year, 20% of elephants a year. We actually are working on to save the northern pole in northern Australia, and now we've actually developed a new type of cloning from blood, so that we can isolate the cells called PCs in blood, which is a massively better step for invasiveness for cloning for endangered species. So we can actually just take a simple blood draw, isolate these cells, and then clone from these cells. And so that is a huge step forward for both cloning efficiency, but also for animal welfare. And while we made 3 dire wolves, we actually made 4 red wolves, which is pretty great.
Wow, so 3 dire wolves, we only showed 2 of them there, but how are all 3 of them doing? Where are they? What's like a day in the life, I guess?
They're doing great. So Romulus and Remus are about 6 months old. They already weigh about 8 pounds. They are thriving and they're preserved, if I can tell you that. But I have to get in a little plug for Khaleesi, who is my favorite. She is only about 2 months old, and she is absolutely adorable. And you can already see their little personalities coming through. It's
Yeah, being able in a 2,000-acre secure, expansive ecological preserve, we got a lot of excitement.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 37. Thus saith the Lord, Lord, if heaven above can be measured, and the foundation there of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith the Lord. Behold, the days comes, right? So the Lord's saying, if they could measure the height of the sea, basically saying, if they can travel through space and achieve these things in the depths of the earth and go into the bottom of the middle of the section of the earth, like you see in some movies like Star Trek, what's that? There's another movie called The Beneath the Earth, but there was an old movie from back in the days when they travel through the core of the earth and find all different dimensions and different other worlds within the world. He said if you can measure that and figure that out, he said he'll cast off the seed of Israel before him. You know, and our people don't realize that was they took the Lord on his challenge. That's really war against you niggas, man. These niggas, these Edomites are trying to get rid of us, man. They don't like us, man. And by them doing this, this is really actually war against that. They took Yahweh Shah on his challenge.
we have a lesson about direwolves and extinction at school, and the idea that so many people are
You know, so they don't know this is really war against you. So just because, you know what I'm saying, so they trying to achieve this, and you got idiots, 2/3 of our people don't realize this like actual war against you, but they'll never achieve that. So, that's something that we ain't got to worry about. The Lord make sure these devils ain't gonna go out in space and pollute the heavens. Oh no.
Focus of most of the stories, right? But there are over 7 billion media impressions from the stories that got written alone about red wolves. That's incredible, right? So red wolf recovery, red wolf rewilding, how do we save the red wolves? And there's a whole red wolf team that's been working to save the red wolf, but they made tons of progress, before we started developing these technologies. And now we're just bringing more light to their work, and then we're trying to bring our new technology.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 44, verse 24. Thus saith the Lord, thy Redeemer, and he that formed thee, he formed from the womb. I am the Lord that maketh all things, that stretched forth the heavens alone, and spread it abroad the earth by myself. So the Lord said, I created a thing. He stretched out the heavens, right?
She met in the popular game Roblox.
Lulu and Georgia. Designing a home with personal
powerful experiment in trusting your instincts. Lulu and Georgia.
The book of Psalms, chapter 104, verse 2. Who coverest thyself with light as with a garment, who stretch out the heavens like a curtain. See? Lord said, I clothe myself with the light. He's pure light and glory and righteousness. And he said, I stretch out the heavens like a curtain. So as we speak, it's many universes and galaxies and planets are being made at this point. That's why he said, when I'm leaving, I'll go prepare a place for you. That's why Esau Edom, his satellite, when they roam out, they find new planets. They find all these new planets popping up. Because the Lord he been making them as since he left us. He was creating, man. He's getting the universe prepared for us, for we can go live on those planets. You know what I'm saying? The book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 22. It is that he that sitteth upon the circle, that which is the earth. That's why these flat earthers, you earth people, it is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretch out the heavens as a curtain, and he spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in them. See? He stretched these other planets, he said, you know what I'm saying? Like a tent. So these planets like tents, so we can dwell in them. We're gonna populate.
At this point, it's not clear if the driver of the SUV will face any charges.
We're gonna be living on these planets. We're gonna be repopulating, man, on these earth, filling up these planets. Remember what he told Abraham? He's, I'm gonna number your children as the stars of heaven. Let's get that.
Hi, I'm Jeff Bezos. This crosswalk is sponsored by Amazon Prime with an important message. Please don't tax the rich. Otherwise, all the other billionaires will move to Florida too.
There were reports of similar things happening at several locations across the city yesterday. The Seattle Department of Transportation says they are working to fix the hacked buttons. This follows similar instances in California, Silicon Valley. In those cases, people reported hearing AI-generated voices of Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. It's not clear who is responsible. Now to the new standoff between President Trump and the chairman of the Federal Reserve. The president accusing Jerome Powell of playing politics, but stopping short of trying to fire him. Senior White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez is at the White House.
With markets on edge, as trade war escalating, tonight President Trump is lashing out at the Federal Reserve chairman he once appointed, writing on social media that Jerome Powell's termination.
The book of Genesis, chapter 22, verse 17. That in blessing I will bless thee, and multiply I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heavens, and as the sand which is upon the sea shore, and thy seed shall possess the gates of his enemies. So the Lord said he's going to number us like the stars of heaven. So all these planets that's created, we're going to be eventually at their time. We're going, man, because we're going to be so many. It's going to be so many of us. We ain't going to be able to be on Earth on this earth. So we're going to have to stretch out throughout space, man. And these other planets, we're going to be inhabited. You know what I'm saying? And the scripture said we're going to, thy seed shall possess the gates of his enemies, man. We're going to take over their cities, man. Take over them. Because a lot of those other heathens, they're going to have jobs, man. That's why the scripture says, let's get that. Continuous employment.
Policies that Joe Biden that's got to be preserved. Democrats wanting chaos and Powell's ousted.
If Chairman Powell can be fired by the President of the United States, it will crash markets in the United States.
Powell, whose term is Fed chair ends next year, has said the president does not have the legal authority to fire him.
If he asked you to leave, would you go?
Right? The book of Ezekiel, chapter 39, verse 14. And they shall say, and they shall serve out men and continue employment, passing through the land of Beri with the passengers, those that remain upon the face of the earth, to cleanse it after the end of the 7th month, shall they search. See? It's going to be continuous employment, not just on earth, but all the other planets too, because we ain't going to be building them up. Mansions, castles, and all types of, heavenly body infrastructure on these planets, probably floating cities and all that. Even we might build a station. Who knows? We might build like a station out in space, in mid space somewhere, like a subway train type in space, man. Who knows, man? Float on asteroids, man. Big asteroids. Have a floating castle city on that.
A Los Angeles courtroom, a resentencing hearing for the Menendez brothers postponed after turning contentious today. The brothers' attorney, Mark Garagos, calling the proceedings unfair. The issue, a comprehensive risk assessment.
All right, that's going into something else, but yeah, let's get some more. You know, so the Lord got a lot of stuff that He got for us, man. Let's get some more precepts.
We're joined by NBC News legal analyst Danny Ceballos. Danny, walk us through some of the other aspects of what happened in court today.
So recall that we're here for a resentencing, which could have been initiated either by the DA or by the judge. And in this case, it was originally by both. And the standard the brothers have to show here is pursuant to a 2023 law. The only reason that they're here is because of this law that allows defendants who are convicted, sentenced to life without possibility of parole when they were under age 26. They have to show the classic post-rehabilitation factors.
1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 9. But it is written, but as it is written, eyes have not seen, nor heard, ears have heard, neither have entered into their hearts. See, things that you can't even imagine or think of, that you never even could possibly be imagining in your head. You know what I mean? You know, heart of men, that things which Yahweh have prepared for them that love Him. See, so that means how you love Him. We out in the highways and byways, man. We feeding the sheep. That's why the Lord told Peter. He said, "If you love me, feed my sheep." So as us, we feeding that sheep and we endure to the end. The Lord said, "Our eyes have not seen nor heard of, or neither into our hearts and our mind of things that He got prepared for us, that we got coming to us, man." So these things that these are things that the Lord gonna have for His elect, man. These are the prize, these are the reward He's gonna reward us with. We're gonna be seeing all space, different galaxies. Oh man. These planets. I know in one place, I think a few months ago, there was a diamond planet. They said that. I don't know if that's true, but I believe it is. They found a planet that's made of diamonds. Book of 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 10. But Yahweh have revealed them unto us by the Spirit. The Spirit searches all things, yea, the deep things of Yahweh. See, these are the deep things of Yahweh, man. We're going to be able to travel through different dimensions, portals. We don't know, you know, other creatures might be on these other planets, different type of animals, different type of beings. We don't know. Beneath the surface of the earth, the core of this earth, it's probably many other dimensions and stuff in this earth alone. That's why you be seeing Bigfoot, Sasquatches, different type of strange creatures popping up out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? These things that come from the spirit realm, man, of this planet. You know what I'm saying? We don't know, man. We don't know. I'm just speaking as a man. I'm not saying, you know, but we don't know. But Yahweh have revealed them unto us by His Spirit. So the Lord, you know, these are secrets that the Lord revealed to us by His Spirit. For the Spirit searches all things. What? The Spirit we search it. Oh, we study these things, man. You know? The Lord give us secrets in the scriptures to break down scriptures, and He release mysteries. And then He also show them visually to let us know that we on the right track. We are right. You know what I'm saying? These are things that Esau Edom trying to search out, but he can't. He will never get these. Now, don't get me wrong. Esau Edom, the Lord allowed him to see these type of things for him to try to attempt to think he can achieve and master it. But the Lord said He set bounds on this man cannot go past, man. So he only got certain. He only can go so far. The Lord ain't gonna allow this man to take it all the way there. For what man knoweth the things of men, save the spirit of man which is in him. Even so, the things of Yahweh knoweth no man, but the Spirit of Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? So certain things the Lord hold back from men. You know, we only know of what man's supposed to know is earthly. But things of Yahweh, Yahweh knows all things throughout, you know, he know all things, man. And we can't figure out what the things that the Lord knows. And this is what Esau Edom trying to do. He trying to be God. He want to know. He want to know. He think he can outdo the Lord Yahweh. He can't, man. His mind's not on his thought process not on that level.
If we were to eliminate all of NASA's budget,
Let's get some more.
nobody's life in the United States would change. I mean, it's not going to affect our bottom line. We take the tiniest fraction out of the federal budget to make this kind of stuff happen, to make our science advance. And what we do is make the world a more beautiful, more wondrous place. What we do is create exciting news for us to talk about and think about.
Let's bring in Professor of Astrophysics and Exoplanetary Science at the University of Cambridge, Niku Madhusudan. Not only is he part of Cambridge's Institute of Astronomy, he's also the lead researcher of the evidence of life beyond Earth. Professor, we've been so looking forward to this conversation with you. This is rather exciting, and you call this a revolutionary moment, as it is the first time humanity has seen potential biosignatures on a habitable planet. And it all comes in the form of a molecule, as Zane had described, which shares, which is exactly a similar molecule that we have here on Earth. What is the significance of this molecule?
Get the QuickBooks mobile app. Simply snap photos of receipts, tap, and sort transactions automatically. Categorize business and personal transactions with a swipe. Take care of business with the QuickBooks mobile app, even on the go.
Would you be happy if you stayed where you are in life and job forever? If the answer is yes, then this video is not for you.
Yeah, hi, glad to be on here. The molecule DMS and potentially one other molecule dimethyl disulfide, we are seeing hints of at least one of the two molecules, maybe even both. And both of these molecules are known to be uniquely produced by life here on Earth, mostly by microorganisms and organic matter in general. And the amounts that we are seeing on this planet, it is currently we don't know of an abiotic process, non-biological process that can cause these molecules to be atmospheric at the levels we are seeing. So that is sort of the hints for biological activity that we may be seeing. But we also want to be extremely careful at this stage. This is very early stage, and we don't want to rule out non-biological processes, but I want to take a step back and for us as a species to appreciate how far we have come. Even the act of being able to detect these molecules in a habitable zone planet 120 light years away is a huge technological achievement, and that in my mind is the real breakthrough for us as a species, how far we have come as an advanced civilization.
When you put it like that, I mean, it's incredibly humbling. Not just the fact that we're seeing signs of potential life on another planet, but just, you're right, how far we've come just in terms of the science and the technology to even be able to detect the compound known as dimethyl sulfide, as you were just mentioning. So how do we know for sure, or when will we know for sure, probably is a better question, if this planet is actually habitable?
Yeah, so we don't have a definite timeline. Obviously, this is a major area of study, and we don't want to quickly go to conclusions whether we have detected life. We want to take our time, and we have done that for this observation as well. We have taken our time, did very robust studies, but we want to do more observations to confirm if the signal that we are seeing is real, and we want it to be confirmed robustly at a confidence such that there is less than 1 part in a million chance of it being a complete fluke. That is the level of robustness we're aiming for here. We're not there yet. We are a few parts in 1,000 chance of a fluke, but we want to go much farther. And we also want to do theoretical studies and experimental studies to make sure that there is like no other abiotic process that we have missed as a field that could explain these abundances. But so far, based on the knowledge that we have currently, the only way we can interpret it is a biological process causing significant amount of these fluxes on this planet. But we want to remain open, obviously.
You talk about taking a minute to note the inroads and advances in technology and science that got us, and you specifically, we had nothing to do with it, it's you and your brilliant colleagues, to this moment. Can you speak to the impact of something as powerful as the James Webb Telescope and the role that it has played here in helping you as a tool relative to its predecessor, the Hubble?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of you to attribute the success to me and my team, but actually, I think you're also involved in an indirect way. And the marvel that JWST is, it comes from remarkable efforts from thousands of people over decades, both NASA, ESA, the Canadian Space Agency, all of us as a society, as a civilization, are responsible for the technological marvel that is. And we have put that icing on the cake with our science, but fundamentally, that's how I view it, is that it's our contribution as a society where we are, that we're able to do this science. And it would not have possible without what these agencies have done for us, right? So it's all our result in that sense. And more specifically for this science, yes, we have detected these molecules at the level we are talking about here, and we want to remain open. And we'll see if this is confirmed. This is going to be a major transformational moment in the history of science. If this is confirmed, like maybe in a couple of decades, we might look back at science and think that that's when that breakthrough happened and that was its turning point. It is also possible that in a few years we'll realize that actually there is another chemical process that could explain this, and that would be a discovery of new chemical process. So however you cut it, I think this is a win for science.
You need to have this app on your phone. If you're still in school or at a job, chances are you do a lot of writing. And along with that writing comes a ton of pesky grammar mistakes. So what I did was download an app called Grammarly Keyboard, which is like your own personal digital writing assistant. Once it's set up and downloaded and I try to write anything, it's instant.
Thank you very much, everybody. And I've been briefed on the Florida State University, Tallahassee active shooting. I guess it's an active shooter.
Okay, that was the end of that. We're going to hit you some more precepts. Bear with me for a minute. Shalakia.
Emergency brake failing to prevent the cable car from reeling backward down the support line. The cause of tonight's tragic accident now still remains under investigation.
Hala Barani, NBC News. Staying overseas, Colombia declaring a national health emergency after a record high deaths from the mosquito-borne disease yellow fever. At least 34 people have died and 74 cases were reported in a widespread outbreak, largely concentrated in central Colombia's Tolima province. The current outbreak is especially deadly, with a mortality rate of nearly 50% among those infected. Health officials urging people to get vaccinated for the illness and avoid high-risk areas. Scientists revealing an earth-shattering discovery of the strongest hints of life beyond our planet. Researchers at England's Cambridge University detecting signs pointing to possible life on the exoplanet K2-18b that's orbiting 729 trillion miles away. They say they found chemical patterns similar to those produced by Earth's algae and seaweed, indicating the possible existence of a warm ocean containing life. Scientists say they are continuing research for further confirmation of life-supporting chemicals on that planet. And Chinese students using a unique method to learn Spanish through reggaeton music. A study from a Barcelona university revealing an uptick of students turning to social media videos and streaming services and translating songs of Latin artists such as Bad Bunny and J Balvin. Researchers say there are limited resources for learning Spanish in China, so students are getting creative. And back in this country, a new weight loss pill is offering promising results that researchers say is comparable to medications like Ozempic. The drug, developed by pharmaceutical company Eli Lilly, is said to have helped those with type 2 diabetes lose an average of
Right? So let's get it. Let's finish off. The book of Psalms, chapter 8, verse 3. When I considered thy heavens, the works of thy finger, the moon and the stars which thou hast ordained. See? Lord said he created all these things. He ordained it, man, with his finger, right? So all these planets that Esau saying that he discovered with his satellite, these are the planets that the Lord, is developing, man, for us to make, for the children of Israel to live on, to inhabit those planets, man. The book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 8 through 9. Seek him that maketh the 7 stars of Orion, and turneth the shadows of death into morning. That means night into day, day to night, morning, darkness to day, morning to darkness, and he make the day dark with night, and he calleth for the waters of the sea, and poureth them out upon the face of the earth. The Lord is his name. And to strengthen the spoils against the strong, that the spoils shall come against the fortress. Woo! Right? The book of Psalms, chapter 19, verse 1. The chief musician of Psalms, David. The heavens declare the glory of Yahweh. So when the Lord made the heavens, it means space, the stars and the moons and the planets, it declare his glory of his work. That means that he, that show you that there is a power that exists, that created all these things, and that power is Yahweh, right? And Yahweh Shai. To the chief musician of Psalms of David, the heavens declared the glory of Yahweh, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. See? It's beautiful, man. The firmament showed the Lord's handiwork. It ain't no Big Bang Theory, which so-called white man said that happened, man. And then you got 2/3 of our people believe that crap. Big Bang Theory, or things was what it was. There ain't no divine power that created it. You got to ask yourself, how the hell, you got the earth and the sun at a certain distance that the sun won't burn up the earth. It won't get too hot or it won't get too cold. It got it just right at a certain distance. I think it said it takes the last time I see it take 20 minutes for the sun heats up the earth, for the sun beams can reach to the earth. Come on. That's not no coincidence. That don't sound like no, Big Bang Theory.
We're back now with the
right? The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 19. And least thou lift up thy eyes unto the heavens, and when thou seest the sun and the moon, the stars, even all the host of heaven, shouldst be driven to worship them. He said, don't worship these things and serve them, which the Lord thy Yahweh hath divided unto the all nations under the whole heavens. See? He said, you ain't supposed to worship the creature, because a lot of people worship the creature over the creator, man. That's idolatry, man. That's why you got certain cultures, they'll worship the sun or the moon. Like I think, Islam worship the moon. That goes with to Allah, the moonstone. That's that rock. And then you got 2/3 of our people fell into that, man. Like Egyptians worship the sun god, stuff like that, man. Lord said you're supposed to worship those. Those are created. You know what I'm saying? Lord's created those. You don't worship the creation. You worship the person that created it. Let's get it. Isaiah chapter 47, verse 13 through 4. Thou art weary in the multitude of thy counsel. Let now the astrologers and the stargazers, the monthly procrastinators, stand up and save thee from these things, that they shall come upon them. See? Now let's go. Isaiah. Let's get that.
In a statement, Kool-Aid says it does not endorse the Kool-Aid Man challenge. Writing in part, we kindly ask everyone to leave the breaking through walls.
Let's get the stargazers, what that mean.
And while the classic commercials remain a favorite for many kids and adults alike, the residents affected are not drinking that Kool-Aid.
I didn't really find it so funny finding out that now I have a big cost on my head to prepare.
A bar.
Strong's H 1895. Haver. Haver.
Hot bar. Okay. To divide, be astrologers with observers of heaven. See, so that's why they got observers of heavens, man. See. That's what they, NASA and all that, that's what they observer of the stars, man. They use their technology and, to travel through space to observe stars and trying to read the heavens and stuff like that, And that's where they get into their astrologists to tell you what your signs or what month you was born, what type of spirit that you have, and use all these things. That's stuff that we ain't supposed. That's unforbidden knowledge that we ain't supposed to be knowing. Now, do we have the Issacharites, knew that, for the feast days, high holy days and stuff like that. But we did that to celebrate our high holy days, but not to worship them. So when you got our astrologers, so Esau got astrologers on the left hand side. NASA and all that is part of that. SpaceX, they that's witchcraft. That's their astrologers and things like that, fortune tellers, right? Let's get some more.
Strong's H 2374. Jose.
Kaza. A seer, vision. So these are fortune tellers. You know what I'm saying? And these are Esau Edom has those on the left hand side, false prophets. They scientists. They magi's, and scientists and all that. See, these type of cats that work at NASA build these satellites to travel through space and trying to seek out other planets and trying to tell the future, building time machines and, you know, trying to get the drop on Yahushua and figure out how to overcome these prophecies, but they can't. You know what I'm saying? So they are weary in the multitude of their counsel. Let now the astrologers and the stargazers and the multi-procrastinators stand up and save thee from these things, that it shall come upon thee. Behold, they shall be as a stubble, the fire shall burn them, and they shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be coals to warm at, nor fire to sit before it. See? There's going to be nothing that you can stand before this fire that's coming. This is the reason why they're trying to save themselves, trying to go out to these other planets, because they know the fear of the Lord. They know that Yahushua is coming and, you know, nuclear war is going to be heading here. That's why they're trying to head out in space. That's why they're trying to search out other planets so they can try to go out there and inhabit these and trying to escape. But the Lord said he's going to bring them down. Let's get that scripture. Let's finish this out and get some more precepts, and then I'm going to close it. Book of Colossians, chapter 1, verse 16. For by him were all things created that are in the heavens and that are in the earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or power, all things were created by him and for him. That's talking about Yahushua, man. Things that you can't see, things that you can see was created. And the things that you can't see is the spirit realm. He created that as well. And then you got other places out in different space and galaxies he created. Thrones, it means, you know, dominions, it means kingdoms, it means kings. All of them was created for the Lord, you know, for his purpose. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord is that omnipotent power, man. And we got to worship him. And if you want to get to the other planets and travel through space, only he can provide you that. Because why? He can make your body immortal, and you know what I'm saying? So you can travel and withstand space. Esau, Edom can't do it. That's why he tried to come up with his artificial intelligence and things like that and make you a cyborg, turn himself to a cyborg so he can travel through space and try to inhabit these planets. Because if you ever seen that cartoon called Silverhawks that came out in the 80s, and when you watch the first episode, it kind of tell you how they was able to travel through. For them to travel through space, they had to make their body cybernetic. And that's the only way they was able to travel through space, because they couldn't do it as human flesh, so they had to turn their body to cybernetics to travel out of space. And when you think about that, get the understanding that that's what Esau Edom was trying to do. They were trying to tell you that back then, that this is how they was going to be able to achieve to travel in interstellar space travel. Is doing that. For them, they know that they won't be able to do it in this flesh, so they have to turn their body into some artificial life form to do it, or cryogenics, you know. But see, with Yahushua, we're gonna be immortals. We ain't gonna need to do all that. You know, we're gonna do that when the Lord turn our bodies into mortals. We're gonna have that spiritual and invulnerable body, man. You know, indestructible body. We're gonna be able to travel through spaces and things like that without using a breathing apparatus to do so. So yeah, so now and I like, you know, to end that. Let's just get one more precept, then I'm gonna close it.
of individuals, or if this was something more random, or if this individual, the shooter, was a student of the university, or was somebody from the outside.
The book of Hebrews chapter 11 verse 3. Through faith we understand that the world were framed by the word of Yahweh, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear.
To not be the case at this hour, but again, the investigation is quite early. One thing I have been struck by, Kristen, is just for the students that have taught to us, the eyewitness.
So things that all the Lord created, he created. You know, the Lord did this. No other man on earth, no other man could take that credit of his creation. And things that were not seen are not made. So if somebody else saying that they did this or did that, they created this, you know what I'm saying? The Lord didn't do that, and man didn't do it, because the Lord put the spirit in man to create these things, right? He gave them the knowledge to do certain things. So if certain things that Esau Edom said this exists, and it's not, and the Lord haven't made it, you know what I'm saying? It's not on the spiritual periodic table, man. It don't exist. You know, the Lord didn't reveal it to you. It's not for you to try to make assumptions. You know what I'm saying? Some things ain't meant for you to know. That's why he told, I forgot who the prophet was. He told him not to write down certain things, because it ain't meant for you to see it and know about it at that time. So if there is other life on other planets, or whatever the case may be, other life forms, whatever, it ain't meant for you to know about it. So don't try to seek it. So we got to have a faithful understanding of the world, that the Lord framed these worlds and he made them. It ain't just puff out of nowhere. It was no Big Bang Theory. Things ain't created itself. Yahweh, the power, did it, and Yahweh Shah, his son, that he gave all authority to create these things. So when man trying to take on credit of things that they say they made, it wasn't made by no man. The Lord did it. So man can't take credit on his creation. Like you got the Moabites, man, they trying to make an artificial sun and stuff like that. You know, things like that. You know, you got Esau Edom trying to be God, trying to create, trying to recreate things that the Lord already made. You know, how you gonna recreate something that's already be made? That's the mind of Esau Edom, man. That's why I say he's the devil that the Bible speaks of. Right, and I'd like to end it. I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, Bashem Rakakodas. Double honors to Apostle of the Great Millstone. This is Brother Ira. On to the next.